My dear students, welcome to English literature class. Students, today we are going to start the chapter number 14, The Luncheon, written by William Somerset Maugham. This is a famous short story, and the word luncheon means light midday meal in Middle English language. Students, the short story is about a lady of 40 years age who is a fan of author's writing. She wins the author's favor and expresses her wish to meet him at a high-class restaurant for the luncheon. Now, reading from the first paragraph, I caught sight of her at the play, and in answer her call, I went over during the interval and sat down beside her. It was long since I had last seen her, and if someone had not mentioned her name, I hardly think I would have recognized her. She addressed me brightly. Students, the narrator himself describes seeing a woman at the theatre who had met him 20 years prior. He said he would not have recognized her if someone had not called out her name. Well, it's many years since we first met. How time does fly. We are none of us getting any younger. Do you remember the first time I saw you? You asked me to luncheon. Did I remember? It was 20 years ago and I was living in Paris. I had a tiny apartment and I was earning barely enough money. Students, when the woman asks him if the writer remembers her, he begins to recount the story of their first meeting. Back then, he had a tiny apartment in Paris and the writer asked her to luncheon. Moving on the next page. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. I answered, thanking her, and presently I received from her another letter saying she was passing through Paris and would like to have a chat with me. But her time was limited and the only free moment she had was on the following Thursday, and would I give her a little luncheon at Foyer's afterwards. Foyer's is a restaurant and it was so far beyond my means that I had never even thought of going there. I had 80 francs to last me the rest of the month, and a modest luncheon should not cost more than 15. If I cut out coffee for the next 2 weeks, I could manage well enough. So students, woman had written to him about his book. Another letter was posted by the woman to the writer stating about her visit to Paris and her desire to have a little luncheon at a Foyer's restaurant where French congressmen eat. William was not a rich man and had never even thought of visiting that restaurant, nor did he possess the art of refusing her request. So students, Foyer was an unimaginably expensive restaurant. Estimating the cost of luncheon, which should not more than 15 francs, he decided to cut down coffee from his menu so that he could have enough for himself for the next 2 weeks. Now moving on the next paragraph, I answered that I would meet my friend at Foyer's on Thursday at 12:30. She was in appearance imposing rather than attractive, and she gave me the impression of having more teeth, white and large, and even then were necessary for any practical purpose. She was talkative, but since she seemed to talk about me, I was prepared to be an attentive listener. So students, William's meeting with the lady was fixed on Thursday at 12:30. The narrator here described her as imposing in appearance rather than attractive, and having large white teeth and more teeth than were necessary. He also mentioned that she was very talkative. I was startled when the menu was brought, for the prices were a great deal higher than I had thought, but she reassured me. I never eat anything for luncheon, she said. Students, Startled means shocked. So William was shocked when he saw the menu, as the prices were very high than her expectations, but he said that the lady encouraged him not to eat anything for luncheon. Oh, don't say that, I answered generously. I never eat more than one thing. I think people eat far too much nowadays. A little fish, perhaps. I wonder if they have any salmon. सो स्टूडेंट्स, अब वो जो लेडी है वो मतलब जो हमारा राइटर है वो बहुत ज़्यादा शॉक्ड हो गया मेन्यू को देखकर, क्योंकि उस जो रेस्टोरेंट के प्राइसेस काफ़ी हाई थे, ठीक है. बट द लेडी रीअश्योर्ड हिम. रीअश्योर्ड का मीनिंग क्या होता है? किसी को हौसला देना, ठीक है, कि किसी की वरीज को रिमूव करना. तो उस लेडी ने बोला आई नेवर ईट एनीथिंग फॉर लंचन, कि मैं लंचन में कुछ नहीं लेती, इट्स ओके. तो द राइटर सेड हैंडसमली दैट प्लीज़ डोंट से दैट, कि आप ऐसा मत बोलो, इट्स ओके. आई नेवर ईट मोर देन वन थिंग. अब वो लेडी क्या बता रही है? देन द लेडी टोल्ड हिम टू ऑर्डर ओनली वन थिंग फॉर हर, एज शी एक्सप्लेन्ड दैट शी नेवर ईट मोर देन वन थिंग वेयर पीपल नाउ अ डेज ईट अ लॉट. Then she ordered a fish for herself and she wanted to have salmon too. Fine. So salmon is the name of a fish. वो एक fish लेना चाहती थी, और कौन सी fish थी? That was salmon. So students, rest of the part we will read in our next video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.